And from gaming news to nerdy news, we've got a smaller week, but I think the gaming news kind of makes up for that.
Such a stacked week for the gaming news.
Exactly. Deadpool Wolverine has officially been given its runtime.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours and 7 minutes.
The longest Deadpool film?
The longest Deadpool film. Also about 5 minutes shorter than this episode of the podcast. That's a prediction. Let me know if I was right.
I don't think you're going to be right.
Season 5 will be the end of The Boys, but not The Boys universe. So we said this last week, actually.
We did.
In the Boys preview. I said, I really hope they get out at the right time, because I think if they go past season 6, they're probably in a real bad spot.
Yeah, for dragging it out too much.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, before the first 3 episodes of season 4 dropped, Eric Kripke went, I think now's a good time to announce and confirm season 5 will be the last season of The Boys. It will conclude Butcher and Homelander's story, but it will not be the end of The Boys universe. We've got some spin-offs we're working on top of stuff like Gen V, but The Boys story will be ending with season 5.
Yeah,
which I think is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it is. There's still a lot of fun they can have with this universe, and a lot of people would probably just drag this story out for The Boys and keep doing season after season to do that, but they realize that's not a smart way to do it. They've seen the success from Gen V of being able to do a show in the same universe but different style. Why not start just branching out? They, like I said last week, they could very easily do something with like season 3 of Gen V where they introduce a new set of people at the school, and then maybe the main series suddenly starts following them after they've graduated as like a little team or something. Like, there's a lot of stuff they could do, and I'm glad they're not going to drag out The Boys story.
Exactly. Jan de Mange is no longer directing Blade, reports The Wrap. Eek. This takes the total number of writers and directors who've been involved with and then left the Blade project to 8. So that is Basim Tariq and Jan de Mange, who have both been the directors and then left. And then the 6 writers who've worked on it and left are Stacey Osakufa, Bo DeMaio, who was, of course, the writer on season 1 and 2 of X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Starbury, Nick Palazzo, Michael Green, and Eric Pearson.
It's not looking good for Blade. It's really not looking good for Blade.
Big man ting, yeah. It's not looking good, Brev.
Do we know why Jan left?
Nothing's been said.
Because one thing is, like, I guess the copium in me is that not the issue with the film, like maybe the script is in a good place and maybe not, but it's taken so long that this director has another upcoming project that they were originally should have been done with Blade by now, but now they've already agreed to do something else, and because this hasn't really got going properly or taken so long to get going, it's like they're gonna have to step away. Is my copium.
Sorry, quick correction on that writer. Sorry, Eric Pearson hasn't left. He's currently the writer.
Oh, okay.
Everyone else has left the project though. But yeah. So we now no longer have a director.
The copium in me.
All I'm saying is we want Blade to be a bit scary. We know that black characters come off better when directed by black directors who understand the culture.
True.
Maybe we go and get a black director who's particularly good at horror films.
Any in mind?
I know, Jordan Peele.
Oh, that's wild. Wasn't he meant to be doing an X-Men thing?
Yeah. So last week we mentioned that Jordan Peele had reportedly met with Marvel about a project. Apparently that project was X-Men, and it didn't work out according to One Take News. We don't know why. We don't know if what he wanted to do isn't what they wanted, or what they wanted he was just like, I have no interest in that, or if he was just like, I don't think I could do it justice. What I will say is, if it was anything other than they were desperate for him and he just went, I don't think I can do this, Marvel fucked up.
If joking aside, like if he was super like interested in doing a project with him and they were like, no, you're not the director for Marvel, they fucked up, like you say. Hopefully it is a case more so of mutually they didn't feel like it was the right fit, or Marvel like, we like your stuff, this is the X-Men, but this is the vibe we want to go for, and he was like, no. Hopefully there's still like that want to work together.
Yes, that my hope is they finish that meeting going, okay, X-Men's not the right one for you. We'll keep a name out. Now that we know what kind of film you want to do, if something comes across, you're our first name. And hopefully Blade is that film.
Yeah, it might have been like they had that meeting now this week, that this has all happened with Blade, and they've gone, Jordan, can you come back in for another meeting, please?
So I am, my feelings about when stuff struggles to get going. At this point, I don't think Blade can physically be a good film. So I also don't want Jordan Peele's name near it because it'll just hurt his reputation for no reason.
It's tough. Blade's been an absolute mess, and it's such a shame because some of the things, like, depending on why some of these have left, probably were unavoidable. It's that situation now where a thing's been passed between so many people. It's so like without stopping, restarting a full, like, it's in danger of just being a bit of a mess. Still hopeful. I still really wish for it to be actually good, and maybe Marvel somehow pulls off a miracle and it is good.
Do you know what my main concern is?
Go on.
Mahershala Ali is now 50 years old. They've not started filming yet. This film is still slated for 2025. Realistically, it's not coming out till 2026 at the very earliest, and that assumes everything goes perfectly from here on out. By which point, when this film comes out, he'll be what? We're saying another 2 years at best, realistically probably 3. He's 53 years of age, and Blade has just made his first appearance.
What if they end up having to change it now, and it's an older Blade who has been doing shit for years, and we're just not knowing? That's why there's been no vampires and shit about. And this is now going to be him teaching.
There's been no vampires because Blade's been doing a good job. Yeah. I like that idea. I don't dislike that idea.
And now he is teaching. He's going to have to teach Black Knight and stuff about how to keep shit in control.
My best guess is that I'm spot on with the soft reboot, and they wanted a big name to be Blade to give a bit more prestige to the Blade name, and then they can reboot and get a young Blade in, and then the list of Blades will be Wesley Snipes, Mahershala Ali, and then this new young up-and-comer.
Yeah, I don't
know.
But
one thing's for sure, you're not having like a 65-year-old Blade cutting about. So
no. You could have a 65-year-old Blade teaching a younger person, whether that's Black Knight or whatnot.
I know Hollywood money keeps people looking young, but that is pushing it, especially for someone who's supposed to be a half vampire, so looks pretty young all the time.
Yeah.
After laws, I'm not 100% sure how these laws used to work, so I might be a little bit wrong here. But after laws that prohibited film studios from owning cinema theatres was lifted, Sony Pictures have now acquired Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. They have become the first major studio to own a cinema in 75 years.
Okay, so we know Disney's about to buy one then.
I actually view this as good news.
So do I.
Because Sony don't have a streaming service.
No.
And now they own a cinema. That means they have a vested interest in cinemas being successful.
Yes. But it also could mean, unfortunately for us, they keep trying to pump out Spider-Verse shit films because they need to have a film to put in their own cinema.
I get that. I do. But it could mean that if they do it properly, it's successful and it forces other companies to start respecting cinema again. Like, I don't mean like the art of cinema. I mean cinemas, theatres.
Do you know what I'd love? Now, if this is like obviously this law's gone, and if Sony have done it, and they're the first two, you can kind of presume Disney's going to try and do something because they always want to compete with Sony. I'd love to see A24 have one.
It'd be very cool.
I think
Although it's very expensive for a company like A24 to buy a cinema chain.
Yeah, obviously. But like, imagine they and people that actually respect cinema and create great films for cinema. I think it'd be cool to see that. But
for sure. For
see.
sure. Creature Commandos is the first DCU project under James Gunn, and it's been now confirmed that it will release in December on Max.
Can't wait to get my subscription to Max.
Max is yet to comment how he feels about having to show everyone the project, but I'm sure he can handle it.
We're all going around to Max's house in December.
Yeah. There is, I believe, unless we've missed it, I don't believe there is any way to get Max in the EU yet.
I mean, if they still do HBO stuff, it's through Sky. So if they go the same route, we might be able to watch it through Sky. Which you can get through
Now TV.
Now TV.
But it shouldn't be that difficult if you want stuff to watch.
If
you want people to watch stuff. The Penguin series from Matt Reeves' Batman universe is also coming to Max in September.
So
busy winter for Max.
Yeah, his house is going to be packed in September and December.
It's going to be bouncing. Okay, that's enough of them boring jokes. Very much sad news today.
Yes.
Comic Storian was a YouTuber who made very insightful and historical videos about comic books and the media and everything surrounding it, and I believe was uploaded to YouTube for like 10 plus years. I might need a fact check on that though. Has sadly and suddenly passed away at just the age of 40, which is just heartbreaking. By the sounds of it, it was a one-car traffic accident. No sign of any drink or drug or anything like that. It seems like a freak accident. It's of course heartbreaking, and we're thinking about his family at this time because it's really, really sad. I personally haven't watched too much of his stuff. I've definitely watched some of his videos over the years when I've been curious about a particular topic, but he wasn't someone I watched religiously. But I know for a lot of people in the comic book and comic book media, wider media, fandom, he was a cornerstone for a lot of people. So lots of very sad people today, and it is always sad when we lose a YouTuber.
Yeah,
it's
especially
although
just 40 odd. Like...
Yeah, it's literally no age at all.
No,
he has a youngish family, as far as I'm aware. It's really, really sad. It's a complete shock. Yeah, it's just, it's really, really sad. There's no other way to put it.
No.
So it felt weird with us covering what we do to not at least kind of pay our respects and go, this has happened.
Yeah.
I hate saying stuff like thoughts and prayers, but that kind of idea of keeping him in one's prayers